Picture this, an endless void of crushing darkness. No sunlight has touched these waters in millions of years. The pressure here could flatten a car like a tin can, and yet, life doesn't just survive down here, it thrives in the most horrifying ways imaginable. What you're about to discover makes modern sharks look like goldfish. Welcome to the prehistoric deep, where evolution went absolutely insane. Down here, in this lightless hell, the rules of survival were completely rewritten. Plants? Impossible. Photosynthesis? A distant memory from the surface world. Every single creature had to become an inventor, engineering bizarre solutions just to find their next meal. Some developed eyes the size of dinner plates. Others said, forget eyes entirely, and abandoned them. And some literally turned themselves into living flashlights. This was nature's laboratory for its most twisted experiments. Let me introduce you to Othamosaurus, and trust me, you've never seen anything like it. This Jurassic marine reptile looked like someone designed a torpedo, then went completely overboard on the windows. We're talking eyeballs over 8 inches across, each one. Why? Because when you're hunting where sunlight fears to tread, you need every photon you can catch. This animal could dive beyond 1,600 feet, holding its breath for what might have been over an hour, descending into a world of absolute blackness. At those depths, the pressure alone would crush your eyeballs into your skull. That's why Ophthalmosaurus evolved reinforced bony rings around its eyes. Natural goggles, if you will. And down there, in that impossible darkness, it hunted. While its cousins were chasing fish in sunny shallows, this reptile became a specialist in the void, tracking the faintest bioluminescent glow. We've discovered its remains across Europe, which tells you everything. This wasn't some failed experiment. This was an apex predator that absolutely dominated its niche for millions of years. But massive eyes weren't the only ticket to success in the dark. Enter Phosphorosaurus, a mosasaur that took a completely different approach. Only about 12 feet long, this Cretaceous hunter looked fairly ordinary until you noticed its face. Those eyes didn't sit on the sides of its head like most marine reptiles. They pointed forward, like a predatory bird, like something built specifically for precision kills. This wasn't coincidence. This was binocular vision, the same system owls use to calculate distance in complete darkness. Those tubular eye sockets dominated its skull, creating what was essentially a biological sniper scope. Every piece of evidence screams nocturnal specialist. Here's how it worked. The giant mosasaurs would hunt during the day, then return to rest. That's when Phosphorosaurus clocked in for the night shift. Cruising through the waters off ancient Japan, it would track bioluminescent squid and lanternfish, striking with surgical accuracy. During daylight, average predator. After sunset, an absolute nightmare. While T-Rex was terrorizing the surface world, this little killer owned the nighttime depths. Now, some predators decided subtlety was overrated. The viperfish went full horror movie. Its teeth are so ridiculously long they stick straight out even when its mouth is shut. We're not talking about teeth anymore. These are impaling spikes. Evolution literally ran out of room in its head. Here's the hunting strategy. Freeze. Don't move. Become a statue. Wait in the pitch black void like a floating bear trap. The moment something swims close, strike. It rockets forward and literally spears its prey on those fangs. And get this, its skull has built-in shock absorbers because the impact is so violent. Oh, and it glows. Because why not? Its belly is covered in light-producing organs that create counter-illumination, making it invisible from below against the faint light filtering from above. But that's almost normal compared to what comes next. The Goblin shark looks like something that escaped from an alien autopsy. Pale pink, flabby, that weird protruding snout. Everything about it screams mistake until you see what it can do with its jaw. Imagine a second mouth erupting from inside the first one. In a fraction of a second, the entire jaw mechanism launches forward like a xenomorph, grabs the prey, and retracts. It's been perfecting this ambush for 125 million years, since the early Cretaceous. Fossil ancestors look virtually identical to living specimens. While the entire world changed around it, continents shifted, ice ages came and went, dinosaurs rose and fell, the Goblin shark just kept doing its thing in the deep. Why fix what isn't broken? It drifts slowly through extreme depths, conserves energy, and when something edible appears, deploy the jaw cannon. Most marine biologists will retire without ever seeing one alive. Then there's the frilled shark, basically what you'd get if an eel had a baby with a nightmare. That serpentine body is unsettling enough, but open its mouth and you're staring at roughly 300 needle-like teeth arranged in 25 rows. Each tooth has 3 points. It's a biological meat grinder. This animal hides in deep-sea caves during the day and emerges to hunt when darkness falls. Squid, fish, doesn't matter. When it strikes, it swallows prey half its own length in one gulp. And here's the kicker. We have fossil teeth almost identical to these from 80 million years ago. Translation: this exact smile was already haunting the depths when dinosaurs walked the earth. Speaking of ancient strategies, let's talk about anglerfish. That little glowing lure dangling from their forehead? Genius. Bioluminescent bait in the darkness. Prey swims toward the light, jaw snaps shut, dinner served. But their reproduction strategy is where things get properly disturbing. In the vast, cold emptiness of the deep ocean, finding a mate is nearly impossible. So evolution came up with a solution that would make body horror fans uncomfortable. When a male anglerfish finds a female, he bites her. Then he fuses with her, permanently. His mouth dissolves into her skin. Their blood vessels merge. He loses his eyes, his digestive system, his organs, everything. He becomes a living sperm dispenser physically attached to her body. She swims, she hunts, she lives. He's just there. A parasitic reproductive organ. Some females collect multiple males, swimming around with several zombie husbands grafted onto their bodies. This nightmare has been working perfectly for tens of millions of years. Want to talk about truly impossible places to live? Hydrothermal vents. Picture the seafloor splitting open 430 million years ago. Superheated water erupts, loaded with heavy metals and gases that would kill anything normal in seconds. Temperatures hot enough to melt lead. Total darkness, crushing pressure, zero oxygen, and tube worms moved in anyway. No mouth, no eyes, no digestive system. They survive through a partnership with bacteria living inside their bodies, bacteria that literally eat poison and convert it into food. Around these volcanic chimneys, entire cities of these alien organisms flourish. When their vent dies, they migrate to a new one. They've been repeating this cycle for almost 500 million years. Volcanic apocalypse? They commute. But the ultimate hide-and-seek champion has to be the Coelacanth. Scientists were absolutely certain it went extinct with the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. Fossils only, ancient history, gone. Then, in 1938, someone caught one off the coast of South Africa. While continents drifted, ice ages froze and thawed, mammals evolved and diversified. This fish was just vibing in deep caves 500 feet down, completely unchanged. When researchers finally examined a living specimen, they found an animal virtually identical to fossils from the Mesozoic. A living fossil isn't just a metaphor here, it's literally accurate. Crinoids took a different approach to immortality. Become a plant. These sea lilies look like flowers, but they're animals, ancient ones. A long stalk anchored to the seafloor, topped with feathery arms that filter microscopic food from the water. For hundreds of millions of years, this strategy absolutely dominated. There are limestone mountains today, made almost entirely from their fossilized remains. The Permian extinction wiped out most of them, but deep-sea survivors persisted. And they're still down there, right now, standing on their stalks in the abyss, doing exactly what their ancestors did 300 million years ago. Some reptiles decided the winning strategy was simple: go deeper than everyone else can follow. Abyssaurus took this to extremes. This early Cretaceous plesiosaur evolved incredibly dense, heavy bones, biological dive weights. Combined with massive lung capacity, it could plunge into zones where pressure would kill almost anything else. It would sink into the lightless depths, then glide just above the seafloor, that long neck ready to strike at anything it detected. For millions of years, the deepest darkness was its hunting ground. Long before these reptiles, trilobites had already mastered the deep. Their calcite eyes were engineering marvels, some of the most advanced vision systems in the ancient world. Then some populations migrated into permanent darkness and went blind. Their eyes gradually smoothed over and disappeared, and they thrived anyway. For millions of years, these blind crawlers survived in the mud while their sighted cousins went extinct on the surface. The last trilobites on Earth might have been these deep-sea blind wanderers, completely unaware they were the final members of a 270 million year dynasty. Their modern successors are equally bizarre. Giant isopods. Think pill bugs the size of footballs. 30 million years of deep sea living turned them into patient scavengers that can wait literal years between meals. When a whale carcass sinks from the surface, they converge like a swarm, gorging until they're too bloated to move. Then they wait, months, years, fasting champions of the deep. And then there's Diplomoceras, which makes you question if evolution was sober. Most ammonites coiled in beautiful spirals. This one said, nah, and grew into a 10-foot paperclip shape, a U-turn shell. Paleontologists initially thought fossils showed multiple animals stuck together. Nope, one creature. And based on growth ring analysis, some lived for 200 years. 2 centuries as a living paperclip in the eternal night. But the strangest of all might be Carnia. 560 million years ago, before fish, before complex animals as we know them, these organisms stood upright on the sea floor like 2-meter-tall feathers. No mouth, no eyes, no brain, no organs. They absorbed dissolved nutrients directly through their surface. Entire fields of these fractal organisms, completely motionless for millions of years. Then they vanished completely. No descendants, no evolutionary legacy. Just an experiment evolution tried once and never repeated. When you look at the history of the deep ocean, you're not just seeing dead creatures. You're witnessing evolution in its most creative and sometimes completely unhinged mode. Fish that fuse into parasitic husbands, reptiles with eyes like headlights, living flowers that filter feed for 300 million years, paperclip-shaped shells that live for centuries. Most of these creatures are gone, but some are still down there right now, miles beneath the surface, repeating strategies invented when dinosaurs were young. While the surface world transforms constantly, the abyss stays loyal to its script. Dark, silent, almost timeless.